Almighty God has those angels away up there above, up there weaving sparkling fabrics just for you and me to love. Almighty God has those angels
set of pipes. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, what a set of pipes Alice Babs had. The Swedish chanteuse and yodeler and muse of Duke Ellington.
I don't really know anything about her, but I love that song.
She's wonderful.
Lovely.
My favourite song by her is called Drip and Droppin'.
Oh yeah,
Drip and droppin', drip and droppin', drip and drop and drop.
How many octaves did she have in her range?
I think she had like a 6-octave range or something like that.
But when it's a 6-octave range, where does it go from? And
I think she could go like Ema Sumac could, kind of right down to like the bass and all the way up to the soprano.
Oh, amazing!
And who knows, maybe the whistle register, which is squeaking. Maybe, but yeah, she had a remarkable voice and was the muse of Duke Ellington. In her later years, she was like a Swedish pop star first, and then Duke Ellington saw her performing and was like, "I'm gonna write for this person."
Yeah.
So that was Almighty God Has Those Angels by Alice Babs and Duke Ellington and his orchestra, and it's a piece of music. Well, in fact, it ties in with You'll Never Guess What. Today is my special day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is it your special day?
It's my special day because Southern Records Distribution forgot to send me my copies of the LP of the music that I made when I was in my early 20s. That was released on Discrepant.
Who are you again? Sorry, we always.
Oh yeah, I'm Ergo.
You're supposed to say who you
I'm
are.
Ergo Phizmiz.
I'm Depresstival.
In fact, I'm because I finished my PhD.
Another special day.
Another special day. I'm already starting to call myself
days.
Dr. Ergo Phizmiz.
Doctor.
Yeah, which I really ought to do.
Oh,
really.
You can do the thing on the plane.
I can.
Which is obviously the only reason that you get a PhD.
Yeah. So
you can do the thing on the plane. Except don't fly. Planes are evil.
But if you don't
other better
fly,
modes of public transport that don't kill everyone and explode in a fiery ball.
If you don't fly, well, you don't even need a mode of transport to do Is There a Doctor in the House? Because all you need to do that is a theatre now, isn't it? You just need an actor to collapse on stage. And that's easy because, with our innate charm, we can get in backstage and just poison some of those gummy bears on Benedict Cumberbatch's rider.
Benning
Yeah, lumbar puncture, bandersnatch. So you poison the star beforehand by just, there's many ways of poisoning. We're not going to go into it here. If you're interested in poisoning,
no, I think you're not supposed to. I'd rather not.
So we poison the actor, he collapses on stage, and then anyone says, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And I go, "Yes, me, Dr. Ergo Phizmiz, Professor of Composition." And then Cumberbatch gets rushed to hospital and recovers well and goes on to do many more substantial acting performances, that some of which may even be Oscar-worthy.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's how you measure if someone's a good actor. Because if they're a good actor, right, the way it works is if you're a good actor, if you're the best actor, you'll definitely be in Hollywood movies, and there's definitely no absolutely brilliant actors walking around waiting to be discovered, who could do amazing work, and it also helps if you're an actor in this country, if you are related to another actor, that's quite useful. People used to go and study, RADA and, study all of it, Shakespeare, the theatre of the absurd, go on the stage in your kitchen sink dramas and, tread the boards and work through the mechanisms and learn the form and the craft and develop your own style, and people will get really good at things over time. But it turns out that was just a waste of time, because you just got to be related to someone, and then you've got all the skills you need to be an actor.
But, if you're not related to someone and you want to be an actor, then it's fine, because apparently everything that ever happens now is staged by something called paid actors. So at least there's some work.
This is somewhere. True. We have heard a lot.
Because I thought that it was quite famous that if you're an actor, you don't get paid much. But apparently it's
Well,
apparently
no.
every event is staged.
I mean,
there's no
actors-
reality.
Actors have equity cards, don't they? So
Yeah, and it's
if
all
you're
being
acting,
staged by loads of like recent RADA graduates or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anytime there's like
well,
a natural disaster,
like that
or
guy,
other
the guy at
stuff
the
by humans.
the insurrection, the January when they stormed the White House. You know, the guy with the who had like the woolly hat with the horns on the top.
He'd recently graduated from RADA.
He had from RADA. Yeah, with distinction.
Yeah.
as well. He
was in an off Broadway run somewhere.
He did a solo production of Pinter's The Dumb Waiter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So there's loads of
He
work
played
for
all the
actors.
characters. There's loads of work for actors, right? And the conspiracy guys, whenever something happens, they say their version of the truth, which is that all of this is being performed
Everything's the other way round
by paid actors, which suggests that the only actors who are safe to be around and trustworthy are unpaid actors. So like amateur dramatics, Sullivan companies.
That's where, again, it's where all the real authenticity lies.
Yeah,
also in terms of reality
Gilbert
as
and
well,
Sullivan.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah,
It's nice to know there's loads of work. And see, we don't have to retrain in cyber. We can just retrain in apparently everything's made up and there isn't a reality.
There's plenty work in being a paid actor.
Yeah.
So in fact, when the genocide in Palestine had been going on even still for a few months, and I wouldn't be surprised if now there are some numpties out there who talk about this. They were talking about the idea of Pallywood, that I think maybe we talked about this recently, but there was this film called Wag the Dog in the 90s with Dustin Hoffman in it, and it was about the military decide to televise a fake war, was the basic idea. And it seems that people have taken this idea and decided that that's what reality is, and that all the images from Palestine, it's paid actors and it's AI. That's what they say.
Yeah,
they say it's paid actors. And
I can't look at any of it anymore. I can't look at the internet anymore.
But the level of stupidity inherent in that is astonishing.
It's too
but
much.
Also, we have to remember, as well as being sort of upset and scandalized by this kind of idea, we also have to remember to laugh at it because it's ridiculous.
But the thing about the whole thing is that people are saying a thing that they know is not true, isn't it? Like the other day, there was that after that that bishop woman at Trump's inauguration was saying lots of reasonable, moral, don't walk around punching people because you're a racist.
Things that we previously knew as
you would
basic
assume were
truths,
sort of like the basic sort of the thing that you have to make a society function, i.e. don't walk around trying to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And she was saying this, and then there was that somebody wrote, "Do not commit the sin of empathy" on Twitter.
Yes, this is
but
phrase
the thing is
of
that,
the week, isn't
that
it?
phrase has never been said before.
No, the two words have never been put together.
The person saying it
He
knows
made a Google whack.
of just a pit of I don't know what is going on in that person's head, that they know that what they're saying is, they're saying it because they know it's the opposite of what, it's like a fundamentally contrarian position that the person who's written it knows that it's not true, because otherwise why would they say the opposite thing to what is supposed to happen to sort of like not be just having a completely amoral society that's like governed by psychopathic principles. I mean, you know that's a ridiculous thing to say, don't you?
Well, there's the kind of guy who I'm sure you, Lottie, have met many, many times.
See, I'm just trying to find a way of articulating it without loads of expletives.
Well, there's the kind of guy who he usually wears jeans, something uninspiring on the top half, and he has really boring hair. And he usually has these eyes which have the slight sort of suggestion that there might faintly be a killer behind there. But they are the kind of people who want to engage you in a conversation. And then once they've engaged you in the conversation, they start to repeat the phrase, not to play devil's advocate here.
it's
And they
this
want to say
thing,
something contrary to everything that you say. And it seems that a vast swathe of our society has decided that that's what they're going to do,
Yeah.
but about everything.
Because, the whole thing of, I keep kind of thinking about the idea of like people saying that you're left wing if you don't want to set fire to everything.
Yeah.
Which I kind of objected because it's just is it not just the obvious thing to
Yeah.
not be running around with? I don't think that's not, you're not doing something, putting forward an idea because you don't want to see the whole of existence
Yeah.
disappear into like a fiery sinkhole.
Yeah. Well, it's actually...
It's not a thing that you're putting forward as a value, not like wanting to have the basic conditions for continuing life successfully. That's not a political position.
No. And now we're in the really, really interesting... Well, America's having its new Liz Truss moment, isn't it, with Uncle Donald? There's been a big plane crash or something yesterday because Donald sacked loads of people who deal in the aviation safety sector, and there was a helicopter crashed into a plane or something and killed a ice hockey team or something like that in America last night. And so, I mean, we've let the maniacs into power. Everybody's let the maniacs into power. And I mean, there ain't going to be any solution to that until that particular maniac's gone. But at the same time as this, I do want to say that many people that I know are lamenting Donald Trump being in government. And yes, I also lament Donald Trump being in government and can see how it is a dystopian nightmare. I mean, it is literally Back to the Future 2, isn't it? Which was a speculation of that very idea. But at the same time...
it was already awful.
It was already
Everything was
awful.
already
And
terrible.
For all of his atrocious personality faults, Uncle Donald isn't a genocidal war criminal yet.
I mean, give him a couple of weeks.
Give him a couple of weeks, but he isn't yet. And
there's
at least these awful, like really stupid politicians like... like Donald, like the Argentinian performance art genius Javier Milei, and here we had the Boris Johnson whole period of where you just let a buffoon in because people think reality is a TV program, and they think, people literally think, it's great to have a politician that's entertaining. And that's not the point of politicians. Politicians should be really boring.
Really boring.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Keir Starmer's pretty boring.
Someone who really doesn't want to do it, and it's really dull.
Yeah, Keir Starmer is pretty
he's not
boring.
enough.
He's pretty boring, but they need to combine being boring with actually having some ethics.
Yeah,
and that's
thoughts.
what he's
Thoughts
lacking.
would be good.
Yeah,
and sort of a basic capacity to do sort of the very basic administration.
Yeah. And like this thing of the what was the phrase again? The sin of empathy. It is again the thing that troubles me most about our society, and it is the idea of the post-truth age, because it is just a stupid statement, because truth is eternal and immutable. Truth is truth, and there is no way that, truth is what it is. So, there'll never be a post-truth age because truth exists. And people have decided that their silly little phone, and yes, I'm talking to you, all of you, the silly little phone you have in your pocket, you take the images on this as your representation of reality. But a photograph has never been trustworthy. Since the beginning, photographs have been manipulated, like the dawn of ghost photography, the Dardais with photo montage and this kind of thing. And when the Dardais were making, Hannah Hock was making these amazing photo montages, and nobody was saying, oh my goodness, this is a real threat to reality because that giraffe has a woman's face, you know, and yeah, it is not the post-truth age. It is just pictures on your little pocket computer that you carry around, because truth's in front of you and it's there. The real world still exists, but everybody really ought to take their head out of their weird non-magical administrative space.
Fondle
and
slab, they call them.
Fondle slab.
Another Roger fact.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Shout out to Roger.
Shout out to Roger. Roger's tuned in. Yeah. Hey, Roger. So yeah, fondle slabs, the post-truth age, and images. Photographing images have never been trustworthy, and the final thing that I would like to say on this subject is that everybody's worried, so worried about AI. You know how it's going to threaten the careers of artists.
I really just can't think of anything that I care less about, really.
No, but the thing that about AI art, and I'm astonished that anybody is worrying, you know, that a computer can make a picture by raiding the internet, because the job of the artist is fundamentally not to create pretty pictures. The job of the artist is to create original thoughts, and so that a technology that can automatically make pictures does not challenge original thought, and on the contrary, like we did, and early on in the days of AI when we used the Rake's Progress machine learning. You can use this the AI thing as a little tool to make some unpredictable things and then stick stuff on top of it. But you got to stick stuff on top of it, because what is the commonality, Lottie, of all AI art? It's all awful.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's all terrible.
Well, I got it to...
It looks like greetings cards.
I got it to make some of my dreams once. That was quite exciting.
Yeah.
I have a lot of architecture dreams.
Yeah, I've made lots of images with AI, but...
I used to have all these dreams about really beautiful sort of courtyards in either in Spain, I think, or Italy maybe. And it made all these... And then I could look at it, at the dream, and it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
I'm not saying it doesn't have uses. I did a long Vermeer series trying to get it to do things like turn a Vermeer room into a Mobius strip, and it was the early days of it, so you could trick it and it could make confusing things and surprising things.
I liked it when we taught who Barbara Carlton was.
That was a very exciting day.
Obviously, it never
did
had
not
that
know who
prompt
Barbara
before.
was.
What did it used to be called? Crayon.
No, but this was Dali, where we taught it Barbara Cartland, and then it did me an exquisite series of Barbara Cartland.
Was. That was good.
Yeah, and even eventually, it could make me an image of Barbara Cartland in her early days as an aviator.
Yeah,
so
in
that
space
was fun.
and stuff.
That was fun. But overall, if I see AI art on the internet, I see either this kind of like horrible new age kind of images of kind of like breast women with who are made of water, in a pink and green glade, or I see these horrible images which are basically like the fantasies of 13-year-old boys who have grown to 35 and stayed 13, of like breast women
in spandex.
In spandex, yeah, in machine learning spandex.
But the thing is, if
it is good at spandex, though.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
good.
fair.
So that's the thing.
But I just hate
if it
spandex.
ever goes
I don't want to see it.
sentient, like any other sentient being, it would just be a sort of confluence of all of its influences around it. So we don't really have to worry about taking over art, because it's only ever going to do spandex.
Yeah, but
so it'll just continue to do spandex, and that's the future.
But everyone's terrified of when
like that production of The magic
The
flute.
magic flute. Daisy Evans' magic flute.
Oh, dear.
Spandex.
Spandex.
Yeah.
So much spandex.
Yeah, there was so much spandex. But people are really terrified, like, because they talk about the idea that, well, what's going to happen when the superintelligence decides to build its own body, its own form, and walk around and take over the world and make little AI soldiers and
It's
all
gonna
this sort
all
of
be
thing.
in spandex.
They're all going to be in spandex,
Yeah.
and I wasn't previously scared of the AI overlord because I presumed the AI overlord would make itself as some kind
Functional.
of like functional
Sort of-
but exciting.
Maybe not
like,
even necessarily have a body. Sort of.
I-
It might be a
well,
tree. That's what I was kind of hoping for.
To me, it would have a body and it would be able to move around, but it might have like 12 limbs. You know?
Yeah.
Because imagine if you're a super intelligence. If you were a super intelligence, Lottie, and you were going to make yourself a body, would you only want these two opposable thumbs?
I'd probably make a big sort of network of like kind of networks of mushrooms and sort of thing. So something that can like rise up out of the ground and prevent people from destroying
Yeah.
stuff. That would be the perfect body.
That would
with,
be
like,
the perfect
roots
body.
all over.
Yeah. But if you were a machine learning super intelligence, you would not generate yourself as a spandex clad.
Or a ball. A ball would be good.
A ball
Quite
would
like
be
to
great.
be a ball.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Pod.
If you're a ball, you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want, can't you? You can go backwards, forwards, sideways, upwards, downwards. You can rest
Or like
on a
Big
chair.
Dog
You can rest in the
before
air.
it was plagiarized and brought more into the war machine.
Yes.
That
yes.
that was quite the ideal body, I think.
Yeah, Big Dog is a good. Well, it is an ideal body, but you ain't got those opposable thumbs.
No.
I would, if I was a machine super intelligence, I would make myself really, really, really tall, and I'd still have my head because I want to keep this finely chiseled jawline. But then I'd have like a sort of 12-foot body, like a big centipede, and I'd have lots of arms with all these opposable thumbs, and altogether I'd have 20 opposable thumbs, which would be amazing. And imagine, right, how many things you could do with those 20 hands all at the same time, how much stuff you could accomplish. Because remember, you're a machine super intelligence, so you're not limited to the human processing brain. You can do all sorts of tasks. So, you could be sewing with one set, you could be knitting with the other, drawing with the other, you could be tickling your friend under the chin with the other. You could be it's going to take me a while to get through all the things, but you can imagine you could be doing some stapling with the other, bookbinding with the other, and with the last ones, you could be cooking your dinner, which is a whole other subject for a machine super intelligence. What do they eat for din-dins? Is it information? Is it eggs? Who knows? Okay. Shall I go to some music? Okay. I'm going to put some music on. We're going to listen to a wonderful album that was a track from a wonderful album that was released a year or two ago, and it's Beluca y los Cannibals. And Beluca was the master leaf player. As you will hear, you have never heard such a fine little toot coming out of such a small, simple, innocent leaf. Sometime.
Johnny was a man sailing across the ocean, searching for the halibut tide. Never really thought about love till he saw her standing on the harbor line. She said, take me away to the other side. Let the sea wash the darkness out of my eyes. Lila was a girl with ashes in the back of her mind. She wanted life to be hard. Never really thought about love till she saw him cutting fish from tail to spine. She said, take me away to the other side. Let the sea wash the darkness out of my eyes. And she tried to love him, tried to hide. The tears folded tightly in the back of her eyes. She fell in love with a man sailing on the halibut tide. But it wasn't enough to save her from the darkness inside. Johnny really loved her, tried to make her better, but she fell into the bottle again. She never really knew how to love a good man, but she knew how to break one instead. He said, don't let the darkness take you down. Let God show you the way to everything that you are. Walking down the aisle with a rounded gown and Johnny singing lilac wine. She couldn't help the tears from falling as he whispered, I will love you till the end of time. Don't let the darkness take you down. Let God show you the way to everything that you are. And she tried to love him, tried to hide. The tears folded tightly in the back of her eyes. She fell in love with a man sailing on the halibut tide. But it wasn't enough to save her from the darkness inside. And I know he loved her, I know he tried to tear the sadness out of her eyes. But she danced herself one night to the other side. And Johnny found his way back to the halibut
Sound Art Radio, Ergo and Depresstival, here with you. And who did we just hear, Lottie?
That was Cecile Grace with Halibut Tide was the name of the track, and it's from her new EP, The House I Live In, which you can get on cecilegrace.bandcamp.com. And Cecile is my old housemate and good friend.
That
And
is...
it's a very nice EP. You should go and listen to it.
Did we already say the address?
cecilegrace.bandcamp.com.
That is the second halibut-related artwork that I've been adjacent to.
Oh, really?
Elvis Herod made a... I can't remember if it was a one-off piece or an album or a radio series, but he made a piece called Halibut Compliment.
Huh?
Now, I want to make a halibut song.
Well, it's a nice word,
It's
isn't
an
it?
amazing
It's a really
word.
nice word.
What is it backwards? Tubular.
Yeah.
Tubular
It's a nice
bells.
word.
Tubular bells.
Yeah.
Halibut bells. Mike Oldfield's Halibut bells.
Ah, but that's it's a nice. We should play some more from that next week. 'Cause
Next week.
She sings in French as well. So.
So, Halibut Bells, Richard Branson, that's what made him his fortune in another dimension. So here we are, Sound Art Radio, where among their regular programming, they also put on wonderful events. And this weekend, it is the first Spark Festival here at Sound Art Radio, which, as I recall, has been going on for a very, very long time, for many, many years, as this radio station has. I refuse to call it a cultural hub, because hub, unlike halibut, is a really ugly word. But it really is a remarkable cultural center where lots of things are happening, and the entire ethos of the place is about sharing and learning and community, and against the overriding
Rampant
system.
individualism.
And so it is a wonderful place, and I love this place, and I would highly recommend making your way to Sound Art Radio and into Totnes Centre tomorrow, where there are more First Spark events. I'll be bringing out my luscious pipes on Sunday
really?
in Totnes Town,
Oh, yeah.
singing from Lucinda's Meadowverse project. And yeah, there's just a whole program of wonderful things related to the art form of radio. Now let's talk about the art form of radio, shall we? Because Sound Art Radio has been here for a long time, attempting to say, yes, radio is this wonderful and extremely democratic medium. Now, why do I say democratic as a medium? Because, my friends, if you want to make a movie and you want to do a scene where your protagonist is sitting in his kitchen reading his morning papers, and then he's suddenly zapped to the moon. If you're doing this in a motion picture, then you're going to have to use some serious sort of imagination and that magic word budget to make this trip to the moon. On a stage, you are going to have to do some clever jiggery-pokery with visual effects to go to the moon. Going to the moon, whether real or in movies or in theater, it costs money. And the real artists in this country, they don't got no money, because nobody wants to give real artists money, because what real artists do is not always predictable and isn't based around the idea of making an easy to commodify product that comes one thing after the other. So radio is the true democratic medium, because it will cost you exactly the same to be sat at the kitchen table as it would to be on the moon on the radio. So it's the medium where anyone who has any story to tell can tell it, and there are no limits to where that story can go, how that narrative can go, how the story can develop. And the only kind of true precedent to radio is literature, of course, because in literature we are using our imagination to complete the scene, as we're doing in radio. If we have an imagination, we use our visual imagination to conjure up the images that the story is telling. So I would say the only precedent to radio as an art form is literature, but radio is kind of, in a way, it is expanded literature, because you can work in this purely word-based literary form, but also you can use the tools of the radio artist to ornament this, to expand the sonic space, to create worlds. So I would say radio, which in this country was basically at the mercy of television. When television came along, they stopped developing radio as an art form, and the evidence of that is that radio plays on Radio 4 still sound exactly the same as they did in the 1950s. They use the same mechanism for creating radio, as they did in the 1950s. They get a bunch of actors to stand in a room in front of microphones and read a play, and then they have some people pressing buttons for sound effects. Whereas the actual possibility of radio, which is explored a little more in Europe, particularly in Germany, where I'm not allowed to work anymore because of Brexit and my support for Palestine, radio is and should be treated as an alive and developing medium. And what confounds me more than anything is that nobody seems to treat radio as a cinematic medium. Nobody thinks of radio as a medium where stories can be told in a way where collage is the predominant medium to tell that story. Radio is a medium that can create any world that you can imagine or not imagine, that can be dreamed from collaboration with a computer or chance operations or exquisite corpses or anything like that. And Walter Benjamin, in about 1922, wrote an essay about radio. I don't remember the name of the essay, but he talked about that essay. He talked about in the essay that radio has the potential to be the theatre of the people. And I see that coming true at places like Sound Art Radio. But what happened to radio in Germany, which was then kind of taken on and imitated by everybody, was I discovered this via a wonderful essay written by my marvelous daughter Tallulah, who's studying at the Coulthard Institute, whoop-de-doo, that the Nazis discovered the wonderful material that is Bakelite, and used this Bakelite to mass produce radios which could go into every single home. And the reason for this was not to create this radio of the people. It was a way of, and we find it's very strange to think of because we are so used to this now. It was a way of putting propaganda into everybody's houses, taking away the ideal of what radio could be. And now radio, in this country at least, is primarily to shift advertising. I remember when I did, when I made the 15-hour piece called The Faust Cycle many, many years ago, and I started doing radio workshops with kids, basically just to kind of explore the medium of radio and what it is. And universally, all of the children, when I asked them what is radio, they said, well, it's a thing where you have some songs play and someone talks in between and there might be some adverts. And
Wow.
To me, it was profoundly shocking that young people's entire concept of this actually limitless art form and totally democratic art form that isn't dependent on finance to create it, they didn't see the possibility or capability of the art form at all. So
Wow.
we spent the rest of the day, we made live soundtracks to things like extracts from Murnau's Faust with, and it was terribly noisy, and the children had a wonderful time, and hopefully some of them now are making noise music. The children had a wonderful time, and as always, when I do workshops at a place, the children have a wonderful time, and I never get invited back. So, well, I was telling you about the water music workshop, wasn't I? The first ever school college workshop I ever did when I must have been like 21 or something like that. And it wasn't at my bequest, but somehow the students were all just kind of really inspired to go with this piece, and they threw a lot of unrehearsed elements into the performance. These students, including full frontal nudity, and one of them drank so much water on stage that he vomited on the stage.
Was that his intention?
I don't think he was expecting to throw up.
So his whole addition to the piece was just drinking lots of water.
Lots of water.
That was what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
That's great.
And
that's like something I would do.
And we had like a cardboard bathtub and all that sort of thing. It was wonderful. The whole show was about water.
Really?
Fresh, beautiful, diverse water.
See, I remember I did a piece at Platform 1 where you used to work, and they had a go at me because I was miking up water and things because it was about water.
Yeah.
And they said that it wasn't legitimate. And that was my first
But wait a
experience
minute.
being told that that avant-garde music wasn't legitimate.
Are you telling me you were doing a project about water?
No, it was like I don't know, we had to do a live thing, and we sort of did a bunch of stuff with like samples and contact miking and stuff, and they got really angry about it. And then recently they went and screamed at my father as well, didn't they?
I got sacked from that job as well.
Yeah, we're allowed to talk about them on the radio, aren't we?
Of course
Because,
we are. They're not listening.
Of course they're not, but...
The Butlin brothers.
The Butlin brothers.
Yeah, they're not listening.
Yeah, why did you get sacked? Was it because you had thoughts? It's usually because you got thoughts, isn't it? That's what people don't like that.
It's usually because...
Didn't they make you sit in the corridor or something?
They did make me sit in the corridor, yeah, when I had no prep work to do or lectures. And they were like, well, you'll have to sit in the corridor when you're not working.
Yeah.
So all the students were like, what are you doing? And also in this job, they installed security cameras in the building when I was working there. They installed 2. One security camera was in the corridor. The other security camera was in the room I worked in.
Oh, really?
So
I think I remember the security camera was
So
going
in
up,
their
actually.
office, they had a thing with the empty corridor and my room that I was teaching in. And yeah, I guess I got sacked. I tend to get, I don't know, I think I get sacked from these kind of things because the kids seem to enjoy it more. But also I refused to do... and this is also why in the current climate, I cannot go into full-time teaching work because I refuse to do shouting.
Oh, what did they want you to...
At every education establishment
Shout
wants you to shout at an
students.
18-year-old when they're late.
Right.
And
Yeah,
to
see,
me, the
yeah.
18-year-old, they're
Well, you don't
choosing
know
to be
what's-
there. You don't know what's going on in their
They're
life.
the reason anyone's getting paid.
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
the reason anyone's getting paid. And, these people are not... Well, I don't even think you should scream at a 6-year-old for being late because it's presumably not their fault. But, yeah, you're supposed to, as a lecturer, you are supposed to shout and chastise at, 21-year-olds when they're a bit late for class. And to me, if someone is late for class, it means they've missed the beginning and we'll have to catch up.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, they...
But
I
yeah,
remember...
the whole thing is set up as authority,
they
and
shouted
I
at
don't
me
like
quite a
it.
few times. I remember once I was late because the bathroom had flooded, and I got in and said, "Sorry, I've been having to deal with the bathroom flooding," and he really reprimanded me in front of everyone, and it was just kind of like, well, what did you want me to do? Leave it so that the water goes down the
And to
I
put
don't
it
know.
into context, these guys, the Butlin brothers, one of them is a sax player and the other one is like a slave owner or something, plantation owner.
No,
or something.
historically we can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah.
No one's gonna just move on. Let's move on.
I'll just move on. I'll tell you about when I went to Butlins. I went to Butlins as a child, and Grandma Norma got us, because we'd never been on holiday anyway, and Grandma Norma got us, first of all, a wonderful trip to Centre Parks, and after that, a wonderful trip to Butlins. And that was the first time that I'd ever seen, the joy of my heart holiday park entertainers. I'd seen the Northern Club entertainers, but they're a different calibre to holiday park entertainers. Holiday park entertainers have that extra degree of sass, just because they know they're working in a holiday park, and every single person around, every single person in that room, apart from the staff, is pursuing leisure.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, and I don't know.
It's
I mean,
kind of like a cult, isn't it?
yeah,
really?
yeah. And well, you're a performer, aren't you? And maybe you can tell me that if you were playing a show and you were aware that every single person in that audience was amidst a week or so of pure leisure pursuit, would that affect your performance?
No.
No? It would me. It would put me in a good mood. And I've never played holiday camps. I'd love to play holiday camps.
I haven't either. It's quite insular. I think it's difficult to get.
Yeah,
It's like a circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a circuit.
Yeah. Also, they don't really want songs about neoliberalism
No,
and stuff.
no,
they want
that's
more
true. like
dunno.
covers of like
It's
I
either
could do
90s
Come On Eileen,
boy
couldn't
or
I?
girl bands,
Yeah.
or it's like you have to dress up as a dog.
Yeah,
I could do both.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
happy
yeah,
to do
yeah.
that as a atomic kitten dressed as a sea lion or
Well,
something.
this reminds me that my daughter Tallulah, she works at another wonderful one of these places. She works when she's not busy writing her essays for the Coulthard Institute. She works at Park Dean Holiday Resorts and has worked there for quite some time. And I've heard those caravans are so luxurious and wonderful. But Tallulah told us one day that if you are employed at a Park Dean Holiday Resort to be one of the bears, one of the giant bears or one of the giant talking dogs or anything like that, you are severely chastised by the management if you break character.
Right.
So you have to really method this.
Have you
this bear
broken
thing.
character in a sort of like in a kind of disparate, kind of meta postmodern way here on behalf of Tallulah? Is it going to get her into for saying that they're not really giant bears?
It's okay. She's not hired as a giant bear anymore.
Right. Okay. Anymore.
No.
I didn't know that she got to be a giant bear.
Well, was she a giant bear, or was she just talking in the context of what the giant bears had told her?
What, when they're like around the back of the shed smoking a
Smoking.
roll up and so, head under arm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think Tallulah was a giant bear. She should have been, because she would have been such a brilliant
that's pretty
giant
much one
bear.
of the few jobs that I'm actually qualified for, really.
Well, you were actually talking when we were living in that really horrible town, which dare not
Oh, well, the
speak
one that's
its
really
name.
friendly and
yeah,
nice.
the really friendly, nice
yeah,
town.
really nice.
You would, because every time you went
There's
out...
so much graffiti there.
You got-
Banksy.
every time
It's
we went
so
out,
friendly, and I love Banksy.
you got so much grief from people.
I did. Lots of people wanted to kill me there.
Yeah.
Like the thing of like the new sexual harassment thing, which is in the past it was all right, love, and now it's like just sort of like strange, feral kind of Andrew Tate fans who look at you like they really want to kill you.
Yeah. There was a lot of that, and so you concluded at one point that if we were to stay in that horrible place any longer, you would have to do it in a full body bear suit.
Yeah.
A full bear costume.
Yeah, because then, I mean, I think there may still be time for that. Because then people are looking at you and they're not looking at you because they are like deeply misogynist and want to commit violence. They're looking at you because you're dressed as a bear.
Yeah.
So I think that's my future.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very
And
different
I
expression.
might get
that they're
paid
giving.
for it. You never know.
Yeah.
You could just walk around and people would throw money at you and feel sort of like marginally sorry for you because it's like obviously if you're the local person who's like always dressed as a bear, people start to realise that there are reasons that have pushed you into always dressing as a bear. But I really wanted to get one of those really sort of like grotty, kind of really horrible bear suit, not like cute, sort of like really... I don't know.
Oh, I know which
looks
one.
like it's got like
You want to get the bear suit that was used in that really dreadful film where the man in the bear suit burnt to death at the end.
what?
That
I don't
really
know about
terrible
this.
film. That really awful film where they killed the
Oh,
boy
what?
from
The
Death in
Ari
Venice.
Aster one.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, damn you, Ari Aster! I can't get onto it. Ari
No.
Aster. My contempt for him is
Yeah. What I can't remember why.
because
what
I'm going to
led me
dress as a
onto it.
bear to
Oh yeah, so you
to
could
combat like sexism and
Yeah, because when they dress the guy as a bear, then they burn him to death when he is a bear.
it's apparently like there's still really remote. According to him, there's still like really remote areas of Sweden where people carry out these elaborate sort of Wicker Man type rituals, which I don't.
All right. And didn't he make also that other terrible film where like Muriel had mental illness and then she started flying, and that was the story.
Yeah, he's dreadful, and it's another thing that's like happened because of the big sort of social media coming along, and then everybody's like forgotten that there's like a history of cinema prior to social media. And so lots of people who previously had really good taste seem to think that Ari Aster's got anything useful to say. You should probably play some music or something, because I could just talk about my contempt for Ari Aster for a really long time.
Just one more final point then on that subject, in that you talked about since social networks.
The one that goes... yo, you stole my PhD, bro. That's one of the lines in Midsummer, and
Right.
that hasn't been...
And is Midsummer's the one with the bear not flying Muriel?
No, that's Hereditary, the flying
Okay.
Muriel one, which
Okay.
is
Well-
quick change the subject.
Well, on that subject, and the last thing I'll say on this subject before we play something else is that the thing that you said about how social networks have made people forget that there is, the history of cinema, and I think it's not just social networks; it's the fact that all the things that people are watching, Netflix and all that kind of thing, they're generally driven by like new content that's being made, and hang on, I've forgotten what we were talking
that
about.
it kind
You're
of
gonna have to remind me.
destroyed everything prior to a particular point, and now people think that we're having another...
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. So, like, our film, The Madonna of Bedminster, which had this weird smear campaign attached to it in the Wire magazine. Like, they made up some letters from readers to try and
It made a lot
justify
of people
themselves and
quite
things like that.
angry.
It's
and
made a lot
not-
of people angry.
And a lot of people liked it.
But
at
the
same time.
thing about it and the initial review is that... Oh, dear. What was that?
Oh, dear.
Oh, something.
Oh, no. Yeah, the initial review.
Yeah, the initial review, when you actually look at it, is actually informed by this cultural illiteracy because, like, I've made a lot of work, and when we made The Madonna of Bedminster, I was very actively and consciously making something that was less weird than what I usually do. With more conventional narrative, more conventional kind of rhythm, and like a narrative film with actors, sort of very conventional. But it seems that now, if you make a film with like even just a handheld camera,
People can't handle
people
it.
can't handle
It's
it.
really
And
strange.
They think that you're either a rank amateur,
Or that
and
you're
you
trying
don't know
to
how to
do
do it,
something, and
or
it's
that you're trying to do something really stylistic. But it's like handheld camera has been in the cultural lexicon of cinema
But maybe
since
it's because
Godard.
pretty much, like so many people use video all the time now that it's probably that everybody owns a tripod, every single person, and it's expecting everything to be set up in this kind of very...
And everybody
maybe.
wants everything to look like slick and like Netflix. And to me, I find it so disgusting
kinda makes
that
me
I
wanna
can barely
vomit,
look at any
sort
of
of.
it. It's so disgusting. And like the reason that, because every time you make an artwork, you're kind of starting from zero. And on The Madonna of Bedminster, deliberately, we didn't know what we were doing from the outset, because often if you are making art that wants to go, you want to find something different, you got to go through experimental sort of processes to get there. And so the style of that film is informed by the way it was made, which was two people with cameras desperately trying to avoid each other whilst filming, two actors who also are being told what they're doing in real time by me. And this style creates the story, creates the dramatic tension, this way of working, but also creates the style of the piece. And we've got culturally to such a little like children's shape sort of view of culture where everything has to fit into one of these little boxes, and if it doesn't, then it's not of relevance.
It's not
or
valid
something.
in any way.
It isn't valid. Like music isn't valid unless it's on Spotify, for
or
example.
a particular genre. I mean, that's initially why I started running gigs, was because when I played at sort of punk stuff, people didn't like the kind of acoustic nature of it. I can't remember, this was a while ago, and then if I played at like singer-songwriter nights, they didn't want you to sort of talk about anything at all. Yes, but you're expected to be like, "Hi, how are you? Yes, this is my... Okay, thanks very much. This is about a difficult time that I had," sort of thing. So I was trying to do this like cross thing, but people are really set in these
Yes, they are.
these rules about what you're supposed to do in
Yes.
each context.
And what these rules have done is lockdown and actually destroyed culture.
Yeah.
They've destroyed the capacity for people to create cultures themselves. And so I think I pretty much say this every week, but there is nothing more important at this stage than to create culture in this cultural wasteland that the system has made.
Although it's quite nice
this
around
place.
here.
It
It's
is
all
lovely
right.
around
And like,
But it's
a
never been more
bit
important
more going on. That's
to do things and make things where you are not aspiring to get into that system. So don't make music and then spend 2-3 years sending it to these stupid record labels and being really, really disappointed. Make a tape yourself, distribute it among your friends. They can copy the tape or digitize it or send it to their friends. It doesn't matter if you're giving it away to some people, because that will spread your work, that will spread your music. And at this point, let's just move on briefly to Uncle Paul McCartney, who this week, because some law has changed, I didn't really read it properly, but some law has changed
they're
vis-a-vis
giving
AI.
AI more access to like sampling and stuff like that, but no, humans aren't allowed.
People aren't allowed to sample.
People aren't allowed to sample
But
anything, but computers are allowed to
yeah.
make stuff that's purely for commercial.
Yeah, that's purely derivative.
So is that what it
for-
is? If you're the thing that would have always made sampling okay in the background is that you could have just attached a disclaimer to it saying,
Yeah.
"I'm planning on selling out as
Yeah,
much as possible
exactly.
and only doing stuff for kind of."
And Paul McCartney,
commercial.
Lottie, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you sat down because you might fall over if you hear this news, but Paul McCartney's worried.
Is he?
He's really worried because the reason that Paul McCartney is worried is he's worried that AI computing, machine learning intelligent overlords having access to sampling, it's going to de-incentivize it's going to de-incentivize young people to make music. That's Paul McCartney's worry,
Right.
which
Well,
I find a little bit vexing, because that says to me that the only reason Paul McCartney makes music is to make money.
Well, I mean, he was like a function musician primarily first, and above, like they were a function band, really, weren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is why you join a function band.
Yeah, but you don't. The reason for making art, and this is something that's been hard coded into our culture. And I made a piece called Fulcanelli's Shoes 15, 20 years ago. I don't know how long ago, but the whole point at the end of it was that art will die if we let it be at the mercy of money. And money, right? Here's the other thing: is that art is real and money is not. Money is not real. Money is a construct. The economy is not real. It is a construct. All art is real, even if it's terrible. You know, it's all real. You know, Silvia Berlusconi's art collection of thousands of pieces of appalling nudes. At least it's real. You know,
Yeah,
money isn't real. The art is real.
It's odd, isn't it? Because I kind of like, when I was younger and I was playing in bands and playing music stuff, the thing that we all wanted to do was have fun playing music. And so making the music and playing live was for all the musicians that I knew, up until people started using social media. And then suddenly it changed, and now the whole thing is about trying to monetize everything. But it used to be that everybody used to be like, oh, I wish we could just get a manager and they deal with the stuff and we get to play music.
Yes, neoliberalism is the religion
So,
now.
like,
The reason for doing music now
is
is to eventually
on
monetize
the
it.
internet and like, I don't know, get famous or whatever. But like, I just
But
don't
again,
care. We should play something.
Yeah, it's the neoliberal myth that hard work gets rewards, and so people see like one artist who has maybe come from a poor background and they think, well, I can do that too. And that's just a lie, isn't it? Because it's a matter of luck.
I don't think I've really seen any artists for a long time who've come from a legitimately poor background.
I can tell you one, Little Sims.
Oh yeah.
Who my daddy my daddy taught Little Sims and watched Little Sims rise to superstardom, which is very nice.
People who are actually good at music, there's a lot of people who are from poor backgrounds, but I mean in terms of sort of like ultimate kind of dross in the in stuff that is very popular but really sucks. I don't think I've heard any music made by it.
No. And I find that very strange. And this is also why I talk about this idea that we have to rebuild and recreate culture by creating small scenes and things like that, which is not dependent on the approval of the neoliberal system. We need to stop thinking of that as like a thing, as a real thing. It isn't. Like the world of Spotify and stuff, it isn't real. It's just playing in their system. So particularly young people, but also older people, make your own scenes, do your own things, play your music to your friends, get groups of people together, do it outside, like you have this human right and this amazing brain with the capacity to make the world richer, and not in an economic sense. So do it. We're going to play some music now. We're going to play a little playlist of this. And again, I want you to think during this of what we can call this genre of music, because of course genre is the super important thing now. So this kind of music, we call it but obviously it's difficult to spell that. So we're going to play you a few tracks in this style of and then we shall return and talk about prospective names for this
That's a pretty hey. Elmo, you see what I see?
Going to make you feel good, militaristic.
Well, no, actually, that one isn't militaristic. I was reading that one was written for the Washington Post for a essay writing competition.
So who marched?
So it's literary.
It's a Washington Post march. Was anyone marching? Was
I
there,
think
like,
it was when they were
marching-
presenting the award. Should we find out who won?
Yeah, let's find out who won. So it wasn't like. So
No,
it's,
it wasn't.
so it's not so
it's not a
militaristic.
military industrial one.
Right.
They should make like sort of like actual industrial music for the
Military industrial music.
complex.
Military industrial music.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a brilliant
Like,
idea.
You know, like whoever, well, I don't know, Skinny Puppy should get on with
Yeah.
it.
You could make military industrial music, which would be kind of four to the floor, and you could make military industrial complex music, which would be more
Which
like
should be
Gabba.
more like
or
IDM,
Walker.
sort of Venetian snares, but it's really murderous.
Yeah. MIC music.
What?
Military industrial complex.
So yeah, it was 1889, and it was for they wanted Sousa to compose the march for the newspaper's essay contest award ceremony. It's also to promote the newspaper's new ownership. Who won it?
Was the prize the march? Did you win a Sousa march?
I don't know, but that'd be a pretty good prize.
If
And
I
can't-
entered a competition
and
and the
you
prize
won
was a
that
Sousa
he'd
march,
written you a
my own march.
That'd be.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? Oh, of course, the sousaphone. I can't believe I never made that link.
I've never made that.
It was
link.
invented for Sousa.
For Sousa's
He
marches.
commissioned it.
Yeah, because
It's easier to carry. Is the point of it?
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So does the
it's easier than
sousaphone?
a tuba.
So the
apparently.
sousaphone does not have a lower pitch than a tuba.
No, I think it's like the way it fits around you.
The sousaphone-
because it fits around you. My
It's-
mother's got a sousaphone.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't use it.
But it's
I mean,
never.
she's been in Peru, but I mean, I'm sure you could probably borrow it.
It's never struck me that a sousaphone is a
It's
wearable
for-
tuba.
Yeah, so because he's obviously well into the.
Yeah.
He'd probably be making techno now, wouldn't he?
I mean, he would, but
Would
it
Would he be really militaristic?
It would be kind of techno, which does exist. I mean, there was like this like thing in techno, wasn't there? About 10 years ago, where suddenly there was a load of techno tracks that had a sort of
Sousa would have done that then.
Kind of beat.
Do you think he would have done electro swing though?
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
I hope not. No, because he doesn't swing Sousa, does he? He stomps. He's real foot to the floor, get down on the dance floor, put your military boots on and march around in formation under the disco lights and the flashing, beautiful, miraculous ball that's shedding those beautiful specks of light in circles around your circumference. Wow, I ended right on the end of the Sousa march
well
then.
done.
I'm going to just keep playing underneath the continuing music because we can show
What's
you
this?
then how wide-ranging it is.
Oh yeah.
This is puppet themed.
I was thinking about earlier when I was getting car sick about how it's kind of like a Hitchcock zoom, isn't it, being in a car?
Yeah.
So that's why it makes me. Do drivers get car sick?
You would hope not, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, because then there'd be more people like vomiting while they're driving.
That's true, and
I've never seen that.
I've never seen anyone vomit
I'd
while
like
driving.
to see it more.
I would like to see more
I think
automotive
it should be.
vomiting.
I mean,
yeah.
I hate cars. I really, really hate them. I think you're all completely brainwashed, and I don't understand why you would want to do it. But
It's really
You know,
dangerous.
you could make it more multidisciplinary, like with some vomit.
Yeah,
It would make it more interesting.
Yeah, I'd
And
go
screaming.
I'd go in more
but not-
cars if they were full of vomit.
And then I was thinking about when I first came down to Cornwall when I was a little kid, and we didn't really go anywhere because we were on the Isle of Wight, and I lived in a field and or the woods, or sort of like vaguely feral. And I remember being on the way down to Cornwall and just sort of while I was vomiting all the time because of the car sickness, thinking about all of the lovely flora and fir
Yeah.
trees, and thinking, wow, it's really interesting.
And there's nothing
I've
to
never
settle
seen
the
so many
stomach
fir
like
trees.
lovely flora.
Yeah.
Is there?
Although the pine smell and the vomit was not so great. But
No.
have you got any other not sick-based anecdotes or
Well, first of all, I'm
Facts.
just curious. Was the pine smell coming from the trees outside?
from the trees?
All right, so not from one of those little Christmas
no,
tree-shaped
they
things.
are really bad. They
hang
really
in
make
the
one
front.
really sick. But like, this is why I like public transport so much, because you don't all forms of transport seem to involve, like, you get a sick bag.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It doesn't fill you with much sort of confidence if you're possibly going to be sick.
No.
And, like, I remember I got on a plane once when I was modelling, and I had to go away to Switzerland. And I saw, like, an industrial estate, not the famous industrial estate. It wasn't that sort of trip, but no, it was for a magazine.
What's the famous
Let's
industrial
move on.
estate?
We're not allowed to talk about it without, like, sort of content warnings, I think. But yeah, so I went and I saw this industrial estate, and then they made me jump up and down in sort of like 7-inch heels, and I sprained my ankle, I think. And then when I got the pictures back, they cut off my head in the thing. So because they wanted to recreate this like Burberry advert where that everyone was jumping, but jumping in like 6-inch stilettos is not good. And and it was completely pointless trip.
Yeah. You've been decapitated
utterly
quite a lot,
pointless.
haven't you?
Like, there was no point in me being there at all. My head was cut off. So I got paid though, so that was good. But
You've
then
been
the agency
decapitated.
took it all, and I continued to be homeless because no one will employ me. But yeah, on the way back, like, I was on my own, and I'm terrified of flying. And then there was this guy who looked like Bruce Campbell. I think he was like an American exchange student. And I was like crying, and he was sat next to me, and I was sort of holding onto his shirt because it was really bad at that point because of the fear. And I was holding onto his shirt and weeping. And then there was loads of blood just coming out of my nose. Why does anyone fly if that's going to happen? What's the point? The bleeding, and you might burst in a ball of flames. I just don't understand. Why do you want to go anywhere anyway? Where's everyone going?
Yeah, I often wonder about that when I see everybody.
Like, where's
going
so
around in
important?
their
Don't you want to
cars.
stay at home? It's nice at home. You can stay in bed.
Yeah, it is nice at home. I like being where I live.
You don't have to burn a load of fossil fuels, and you can just stay in, like,
Yeah.
stay in. It's
Yeah.
nice. Listen to a record.
Yeah, I like staying in because, I have to write a lot, and I can't do that in a coffee shop or whatever, because my method of writing usually involves walking around the room shouting at myself.
You could do it in a coffee shop.
I suppose I could.
I
do
mean,
it in
I'm
a
one of
coffee
that.
shop.
I've always done that sort of thing in coffee shops.
But
like
do you walk
editing
around
and-
shouting at yourself?
Yeah, I get up, I walk around, have a cigarette, buy more coffee.
But then,
But back when it was cheap, I haven't done that for years.
but
'cause
then
it's
when
like
you
£5
go
now,
out,
but
when you go out to smoke a cigarette, then
and then I like pace a bit, and
but
then I
where's
like
where's your computer?
inside, like usually I
You just
stand-
leave it on the table. So
Well, I
you can
mean,
see
it's
it.
not worth anything. No one wants
Oh,
my
yeah,
no
yeah,
one wants
yeah,
my
yeah.
stuff. They've all got better stuff.
It's this kind of logistical thing that screws me up.
But
It's
the
just
thing
a
is, I think
nightmare.
maybe the thing is, like, you're not supposed to do that sort of thing in public, because I recently found out the concept of masking as an autistic person. That everybody was talking about masking as like I've spent my whole life masking and stuff, and I didn't know what it was. And then I worked out that's because I've never done it, and that's why nobody likes me, because
Yeah.
I've never done it. And that's why I was always getting into trouble because I was being myself, but no one wants me.
Nobody wants anyone to be themselves.
But that's fine because I don't want them either.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's fine. Sousa in the background there with. It says For the Gang, but I don't think that's the name of the march. Number 4, the gang. Sousa's For the Gang march. So is this one maybe military?
I don't know. Isn't this the same one?
The
I don't know.
Hadnan's
They all
a
kind of
different one.
sound sort of the same.
Well, he's
really,
got a
don't-
style, hasn't
He's
he?
got like
It's-
Philip Glass.
Just like Philip Glass, exactly. And Sousa is instantly recognisable, and instantly
Philip Glass should write something in the style of Sousa
he absolutely
with
should.
his usual time signature things, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Let's just take one bar from this and loop it. It's fine. So yeah, this one makes me feel good and militaristic. Makes me feel like I could join the army and do some marching. And they had I didn't watch it, but my parents were watching it, the Trump inauguration, and they had all that funny music, didn't they? With it, they had all the funny Sousa marches.
I didn't want to
and
look at it,
things.
so I didn't.
Like, I think let them have their fun and do their little
The
pageant
little dance thing that they all like to do.
It's really funny. This music, this silly hompy tompy tomp music of the genre that we haven't managed to name yet. And that this music is supposed to be the sound of like military might.
Yeah.
And I can see, for example, if you were on a battlefield in the 10th century and it was misty and the rain was starting to come down, if you heard the sounds of drums and bagpipes emanating from across the horizon, you would be absolutely mortified, especially if you weren't familiar with the ways of the Scottish. Let's say that you were a Roman invader and you came to wage war against the Scots, and you heard this ungodly sound screaming at you and approaching from across the field. That is some terrifying, intimidating stuff. And the bagpipe fundamentally is created for that purpose, for war and intimidation. But the Americans seem to think that the way to intimidate the enemy is with some sort of like rumpy-pumpy tuba music. And to me, if somebody came towards me going, I wouldn't be scared of them. I'd want to walk behind them. I'd want to join them in their walk to this sound.
It depends really. It might work on like other ensembles, like piano quintets might have sort of like rivalry with brass bands and stuff, but then that only means that it's working on musicians, I guess.
Yeah, it's complicated.
But we still haven't got a name for that.
No. So if you have a name for you can write to us. Write to us at
or a spelling.
avantHardcollective@gmail.com. AVANTHARD collective@gmail.com. What is the name of that genre of music
and
which
how
goes
do you spell it?
And how do you spell it? If it is called and that's the name of the genre, then you can tell us how to spell it. But if you can think of a better name for this music, which to me, I mean, I've extemporized a few phrases through the course of this conversation, like rumpy pumpy music. It is quite rumpy pumpy, and like if you think of like the names of genres of music, like punk is more about the attitude, and rock and roll is a euphemism for copulation, and hip hop seems to refer to kind of the beat, I think, which has a sort of but this music is being demonstrated here by Gunnar in another version of Funeral March for a Marionette. Nobody's really like I was saying last week when I like get my beard long enough to be able to go into the record shops with my woolly hat on, when I manage to sort of push it out to that kind of length. What I want from those record shops is some but there is, I don't see no section saying that.
Next time I go into a record shop, I'm going to say, have you got any...
Any
I'm going to make sure that it's one where the guy behind the counter is like really, like, he's so cool and he's so much cooler than me, and he's really, because he works in a record shop, and they're always like so cool, aren't they? Guys who work in record shops.
Yeah.
They know everything about music.
They do. And
don't they?
Yeah, well, they are really...
Well, I'm sure they're all really, really good at music.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because... to collect records...
that means you absorb it by osmosis, doesn't it?
Well, they don't let you buy records unless you've got a grade 5 music theory.
Yeah.
That's the case now.
If you can successfully identify sonata form,
then
you're allowed the New Idols record.
This goes hard. This is... I haven't heard this before. This is Sun Ra and his orchestra doing Pink Elephants on Parade live.
In 1990,
yeah,
I think.
We started this set with the Sun Ra Orchestra doing Pink Elephants on Parade. Then we heard the Washington Post March with a wonderful contextual lesson from Lottie. And then we heard a version of Funeral March for a Marionette by Charles Gounod. And then we heard another good stomping march Mr. Was it Jean-Philippe Sousa, inventor of the wearable tuba, and then we heard another version of Gounod's Funeral March from Marionette, which both sounded like they came from some lovely 78s. And now we have Sun Ra and his orchestra from the Internet Archive, one of the few places on the internet.
78 recordings are public domain. You can't get me, whoever you are.
Yeah, but you know, the big labels, the 4 majors, are now trying to get the Internet Archive shut down because they're trying to claim ownership of all that public domain music.
Everything.
Yeah, everything that's ever existed.
What a great society we inhabit.
Security grade.
Rish!
What did you say?
March! March! March, target! Direction! Direction! Direction brings your power! March, target! Right, your pace! Power! Password. Go, 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 dash! Go, go, dash! Demonstrations. Protest action. Provocation. Psst, psst. Much discretion. Close observation. Testify. That's all. Psst, psst, not a squeak. Confidential. One more thing, bear in mind, silence is golden.
Prime Minister Farage?
Secret cipher, codename Loch Ness Monster. Talk inside, with weapons. Psst, sit tight, no fright. Yes.
Hey, look. Who's that over there? Who's that over there? I recognise them. They're in the crowd. Oh. Well, that was... Oh, my goodness. That was Barbara Hannigan, the brilliant singer, and Simon Rattle performing...
And the LSO.
And the LSO performing Ligeti's Mysteries of the Macabre. And in the
2015.
audience, just down there cheering, I can see Lottie Bowater.
Yeah, it's me, except I wasn't in the bottom because I can't afford that. I was right at the top.
At the top, I can see
Yeah.
Lottie Bowater.
It was great.
Cheering. And
2015,
cheering
best
and
gig of
and
the...
applauding.
Oh, right, it was amazing, that gig.
Oh, this is brilliant. Oh, I'm so glad I came to this. I didn't expect to see you here. You look like you're having a lovely time.
I was having a great time.
Oh.
I got a return to go and see. It was The Rite of Spring and 3 movements from Wojciech by Berg, and there was a Webern piece.
And this was all in this
Is
program
Wojciech's Berg, right?
Here tonight. What
Webern
venue were we at?
At the Bargain.
Oh, we're at the
2015.
Barbican. Oh, nice.
Back when people thought the idea of Nigel Farage becoming a prominent political figure was something was like worthy of ridicule and would never happen.
That is interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? Rather
That
prophetic
is- that
on
is
Simon
interesting.
Rattle's behalf.
Yeah.
No, it'll be great and it'll never happen. Nothing
Yeah.
will change and we'll all have a great time not being able to go anywhere.
Yeah, everybody laughed, didn't they, when they said Prime Minister Farage, and now everybody's talking that crazed right-wing...
let's not talk about it.
think
If you say it, it
tank-
might happen, so let's just move on.
Okay. But let's just say, briefly, that if you are a young person, your job is to be cool, right? Super cool. Your job as a young person is to set an example to the boring, misguided older generations like me. Your job is to set an example of what we should be aspiring to. And middle-aged men in suits like Nigel Farage, they do not have your interests at heart. And somehow they have managed to con you into the idea that they do, despite the fact that you live in a country which is irrevocably damaged because of Brexit, which, Nigel Farage pretty much conducted, didn't he? So do not give power to horrible, charmless, stupid, minging people.
No, like if you're young, you're supposed to be like sitting on a beach, getting drunk and listening
Yeah.
to techno. Do that.
Not praising up Nigel Farage,
Yeah,
who
like-
has destroyed your
Or like you're supposed
possibility of
to
travelling
go and
anywhere.
dance in a field, or like play the guitar badly, or something.
Yeah. All of these people who are going around propagating intolerance against immigration, if you go around propagating intolerance against immigration and bearing in mind that most of these illegal immigrants are fleeing war zones for their very lives, if you go around propagating this kind of rhetoric, then there are no two ways about it. That does make one a fascist.
Yes.
Doesn't it? It makes you a fascist. And there has been a lot of just outright, outlandish racism going on against this particular group of people who are people fleeing for their lives, the poorest people on the planet. And we are not blaming people like Nigel Farage and Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Boris Johnson and all the rich people. We are not blaming them for the problems of our society. We are blaming the poorest people in the world. And let me tell you that pretty much no matter how many people come into this country, it isn't going to affect your life. It isn't going to affect your financial position. What is going to affect your financial position is giving power and say to airhead, numpty, billionaires who have got where they are because A, they were usually born into a position like that, and B, they're a horrible person, so they don't care which people they screw over in their quest to the top. So they're not cool. It's the job of young people to be cool. So, don't vote for this thing that is making itself out to be the alternative party, because it isn't. It's a fascist party.
It's the mainstream party, hence the word populism.
Yeah, well, and also, I think we need to reframe this word populism, because why do we call fascist politics populism? Does that imply that the popular vote is inherently fascist? No, we need to rewrite the idea of populism as popular politics is the politics that actually enhances people's lives. Should be the popular politics, not the politics that, all of the fascist type politics and the right wing politics are based around the idea, as is the entire system of capitalism, that someone else gets their life destroyed so somebody else's life can, so someone can get an Alexa.
Yeah, except all the words are too politically weighted now, so I think we should just use the actual meaning of the word, which is don't set fire to absolutely everything.
Yeah, well,
that can't really be misconstrued in any way and turned into a logo or a fetish or a brand.
Yeah, that's good. That works. I like it. So we have 10 minutes left. We want to play a little stuff at the end, don't we? So
next week I'm going to be starting a new segment of the show where I try and relearn how to tap dance.
It's going to be
in the radio studio.
It is going to be exquisite.
So I'll bring the tap shoes, and it will be an ongoing thing throughout the show.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I could take requests.
Yeah.
So you could just email in a list of steps.
But do you realize
just one step?
You also have real immersive possibility here, because it's immersive art that gets the funding.
We could all
nowadays.
learn to tap dance together.
The listener at home could tap dance.
Let's all learn to tap dance.
Yeah, and they don't even need to buy any. They can super glue some bottle tops to the bottom of the shoes.
Or if you're wearing heels, it's sort of a bit of, depending on the shoe.
And your inner Lionel Blair could be about to reach.
And we should play the Lionel Blair song.
The Lionel Blair
song about everything. Haven't we?
Step together, Lionel Blair. 1, 2, 3, 4, Lionel Blair. Shake that tush, Lionel Blair. Wave your hands around, Lionel Blair. Take off your shoes, Lionel Blair. Entertain the troops, Lionel Blair. Flash those pearls, Lionel Blair. Give us a twirl, Lionel Blair. And it was really good, and we really liked it. But Lionel Blair's son wouldn't. He wouldn't play it to his dad
because he thought we were weird.
Yeah, because he thought we were weird. Lionel Blair's son would not play our Lionel Blair epic.
You are Lionel Blair's son. You can write in and correct me whether or not it was because you thought I was weird.
Yeah, and now Lionel Blair's with the Angels.
It's too late now.
Tapping on clouds. Although maybe actually when people die and their spirit becomes a plasmoid ball, do they then acquire kind of universal knowledge of everything? In that case, he has heard it now.
The other day when we were doing the joint funeral ritual for Vivienne Westwood, the deceased guinea pig, and David Lynch outside, and I said, wow, Hollywood's on fire and David Lynch is dead, and then the fire exploded at the exact moment in a very ominous fashion, so I thought maybe that was David Lynch.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Because I was in a band named after his stuff. I've done quite a lot of David Lynch-based things.
Yeah.
Maybe he came to visit.
Yeah, maybe
Let's hope he did.
And tried to blow my legs off, which would be very
Maybe it's because you said that you didn't like his music.
I don't like his music. It was just terrible. I mean, and
I like some of it.
Oh, it sounded...
I don't like the choice of music in the third season of Twin Peaks.
Oh, no. But David Lynch's music, it sounded like ham sandwiches in a plastic bag or something like that. I really didn't like it at all. Which is okay. It's fine that I thought his music was terrible. But I don't blame David Lynch for his music. I blame Rob DeBank.
Yeah,
for David Lynch's music.
Rob DeBank's fault.
Rob DeBank, he sat with David. They did some transcendental meditation together, and then he said, "You know what, Dave? When I was deep in my meditation, Dave, I realised that you shouldn't be concentrating on all this filmmaking. You should be making really bland, forgettable.
Is it Rod DeBank's fault
Techno.
that we didn't get season 3 of Twin Peaks for ages, and then season 4 never happened?
Yeah, because he was
it
too
looked like
busy
season 4
telling
was going to
David
happen.
Lynch
So
to make
season
light
3
techno.
had happened earlier, and David Lynch had spent less time making light techno and more time thinking about season 3 than we'd have a season 4. And
Is it light techno or is it? I remember reading in Elsa Lanchester's autobiography. She's talking about when she made an adaptation of Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats as a music.
And then Andrew
theatre
Lloyd
piece.
Webber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber came in, but she describes the genre of music of Cats as being mild rock.
That's a fairly good description.
Yeah, it's very good.
I went to see it once when I was about 13. No, younger than that, 11.
It brings us back to spandex all
Because
the
I
way
was
around
kind
to the
of
beginning
like,
of the show.
it's about a cat. I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, no, it's like a.
It was traumatizing, actually. Really,
Yeah.
like there was a lot of spandex.
Yeah, it's like a
we sat in like a
zoophiliac
bit
Cirque du
where
Soleil nightmare.
we sat in a bit where all the cats would come through from the back and they like rub themselves on you and stuff. It's really disturbing. And then there was a big tire at the end. The tire was on like a sort of hydraulic system, and that went up to like a door in the ceiling. And I was like 11 and didn't really understand sort of reality or metaphors, or a lot of the time I thought that I didn't understand that television wasn't like a real like that it was. I thought it was like a real thing, like that it was a box and it's like portals or whatever as a kid. So Cats really confused me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you've really disturbed me here, because are you telling me that if you go to see Andrew Lloyd Webber's mild rock T.S. Eliot musical Cats, that these spandex clad feline fetishes actually make physical contact?
Yeah, they do. They make physical contact. They do like the cat rubbing.
They come up and like spray on you.
Sort of, and it's just a bit. I don't know. It made me feel really weird, and I was disturbed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disturbed.
I didn't
hearing
like
about it.
I don't. And then I was in theatre school for quite a while as a child. I had to sing a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber. It was all quite disturbing.
Yeah, but they didn't make you wear spandex.
No.
Thank goodness. No one should ever wear that stuff.
No, they used to get upset with me for doing interpretive dance and sort of things.
A fair amount of interpretive dance happens in spandex, isn't it?
Yeah,
as well.
But no, like older style,
Right.
contemporary type.
Yeah, because the uniform for contemporary dance is spandex or nude, isn't it? Spandex or naked.
I don't think we should be merging contemporary dance with anything to do with
cycling,
musical theatre. They're
and
not really the same.
musical theatre. Yeah, no, they're very different. Okay, well, it's time for us to leave this place. And I've been Ergo Phizmiz.
I've been Depresstival.
And we're gonna play you out with Dawn Upshaw
Singing Eric Satie's 3 melodies. First one's about a frog statue.
Yeah. We'll be back next week with more wonderful conversation about how much we love contemporary civilization.
Yeah.
And we work for the NHS now, so there. Goodbye, my darlings. Goodbye. My darlings. Sound Out Radio.
La grenouille descend le tombeau, son nid le soir sous la tonnelle. Elle n'a assez d'être la statue qui veut prononcer les gros mots, le mot. Une voiture de pistole qui la traverse sans lui profiter.
Hey, look, there's Lossie Bowater in the audience. Look, there's Lottie.